Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nillumbik Community Fund Successful Projects Information Session. My name is Alira Heusler, and I'm the Team Leader of Community Development, and we're joined by Mitch Walker, Community Development Officer, and we're really looking forward to supporting you through your projects. I'm going to start this session by acknowledging the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people as the traditional owners of the land on which we meet. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all First Nations people. We acknowledge their enduring connection to country and that sovereignty was never ceded. So before we get into it, a big congratulations to you all. This Nillumbik Community Fund has been our most competitive round so far, with 56 applications received and 29 projects funded. So truly well done. We're very excited to support you in helping bring your projects to life. So what to expect about this session? It's going to be a straightforward presentation of myself and Mitch, just stepping you through some slides that outline your responsibilities, some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. You'll also receive lots of different contact details in there as well. So if you do have any questions that come out of this presentation, do feel free to reach out to any of the contacts or either to myself or Mitch directly. So your responsibilities as a grant recipient, we're going to walk through these different topics during this presentation. So we'll be covering things like permits required, your insurance, keeping council informed, and the reporting requirements at the end.
Alrighty, I will jump in here. Thanks, Alira. So I'm just going to start with something that comes up early on in a project plan regarding events or projects that are going to be held on public land or council land. So if the event is going to be held on council land, and meets a threshold that I'll discuss in a second, it will require a event permit. So those thresholds are spelled out on our events page. So you can see the link on the screen there, planning an event in Nillumbik. That has a questionnaire on it and basically asks, excuse me, will your event host 50 or more attendees? So that's an immediate event permit needs to be obtained. Or is it a ceremony such as a wedding, or do you need access to water or electricity? Are you amplifying sound through PA speakers? Are you setting up marquees larger than 3 by 3 meters? Are you selling food or beverages? Are there other permissions required, such as liquor licenses? Do you need vehicle access? So there are a whole few tick boxes to go through just to check if your project or event does require an event permit. And if that is the case, you'll be taken through to the next form, which asks for a bit more detail, and then that will be sent to our events officer, who will most likely contact Alira or myself for a bit more information, and then we will sort of work together with them to get that event permit for you. I would just like to say, though, it does actually come with some benefits. The event permit process is about making your project or event the best that it can be. So if your project or event requires extra bins, or if it's in a space where you would like the grass mown or graffiti removed, or the place to be beautified in some way, council can support there, and council offers that service for local events to enable them to be the best that they can be. This does require lead-in time. So we do say a minimum 6 weeks for an event permit in general. If you do require some beautification, graffiti removal, and there's a few other benefits that you can go through in the event permit, that will require between 6 and 8 weeks of time to lead in so that we can get it on the maintenance schedule and put in special requests for those, especially bins. So if that is something that is required of you, please, there is an extra form, but yeah, it's not too arduous. We've made it quite simple, and there are benefits at the end of that as well. We also on the website have this planning an event in Nillumbik booklet. I think it's about 30 pages. It really covers a lot of topics that come when you're planning a project or an event. Regardless of whether you need a permit, I would definitely have a look at this one. It's on that same website, the planning an event in Nillumbik website. If you go to our website and type event, you'll most likely get that as the first hit. There is also an events calendar, which I'll touch on in a second. But this booklet here is really an A to Z of what can come up when you're planning an event, what to look out for. Little things like if you're having a jumping castle, they're not allowed on council land. And there are all these types of little trip ups that can happen and sort of delay things later in the stage. So if you get in front of it early, just makes for a smoother process all around. Next on with an event that would require a permit, generally you will require insurance for that event if it's going to be on council land. I'm just going to read this verbatim because it can be tricky. So if you're hiring a council reserve or a facility and you do not carry your own public liability insurance, you might be eligible to apply for community liability insurance through council. So you can reach out to us at that email there, which goes to our customer experience team, or the phone number, which goes to them as well. So they will direct you in the best direction that you need to go. It'll be either our events officer or to our risk team. And you can have a chat with them about how to obtain a one-off insurance coverage through so a once-off insurance coverage through council, which is generally a lot cheaper than having to sort of go through an external insurance agency. They do offer one-offs though, so that is a possibility. We just offer this because it can be a bit easier. Next slide. Stepping one slide back basically to inviting a councillor or a mayor and having that lead-in time. This is a question that we do ask in the event permit as well. If you do require or just really want councillors to come down to your event, it does require lead-in time, of course. So 4 to 6 weeks would be the minimum for this. If you want a councillor to speak, like the mayor, I would recommend the 6 weeks prior knowledge so that we can really get that in front of them and get it on the schedule. Pretty busy, lots going on. So really great to get that in front of them as early as possible. The email address you see there is the most direct way to make that happen. That goes directly to their executive team and they can get that in front of the councillors in the quickest manner. So that's the best one there. If you do have any other needs around this area, please feel free to reach out to Alira, myself, the events officer, or even the grants officer. We're all here to help. Over to you, Alira.
Great. Thank you, Mitch. So projects change, and that's okay. But if anything major shifts, like your timeline, your budget, or the actual activity that you have been granted through this fund, you really do, need to let us know. So you can send us an email to the Grants at Nillumbik email, and we will send you out a variation form. So that form just basically asks a couple of questions to help us understand the changes that you're requesting. The key message here is please come and talk to us early. When changes do happen, we're here to support. So if something's not necessarily going to plan, we can certainly talk through that with you, perhaps offer some alternative ideas and suggestions. And look, it's just, better just to let us know as soon as you can. So we're here to help you out, not to catch you out. And if your project is all approved and you've let us know of those changes, that does keep you in really good standing for further grant opportunities. So how do we acknowledge council in our promotions? So as part of your grant acceptance, you will have received a little bit of information around this. It's really important. Actually, it's essential. It's part of your grant key requirements that you do acknowledge that the council has proudly supported your project. So we do require council's acknowledgement on any promotional materials. So making sure that you're putting our logo on any flyers, posters, online advertising. If you're doing some posts through social media, you can simply tag us at Nillumbik Shire Council as listed on this slide. And again, if you're doing any speeches, it's important that you do acknowledge council. So another important aspect of the acknowledgement is that all the draft artwork must be approved from council before you publish. So that's just to make sure that the logo is in the appropriate placement. It hasn't been modified or stretched if you're sort of copying and pasting that down. It's a very simple process. You simply email through your draft artwork to communications@nillumbik.vic.gov.au. They will just glance over it super quickly, and I would say within 24 hours, you're going to have that approval back to you. So they can also help tweak if there's just little things that aren't correct in there. So this step really does matter, and it does impact future funding opportunities. We do occasionally see activities and events that have been promoted, that have been granted through this program, and council acknowledgement has not been given, and that doesn't go unnoticed, unfortunately, and it can impact future funding opportunities.
Yeah, this one I'll take the realm again. So yes, as I said before, we have a events calendar on the website. So this is a great way to promote your event to the wider community. We have many places on the website that actually draw from the events calendar. So it's not really just housed on this one web page. It really does sort of connect into a lot of different touch points on the website. So I'd strongly recommend that when your event date is set, when you've got your promotion and your materials ready, to add this as part of your schedule of promotion. Yeah, it's a really good spot for generating more awareness about the event. A lot of people actually do use this events calendar to see what's happening and what they can do with the family over the weekend, and plan their months and their weeks. So strongly advise jumping onto that. You just go onto the website, simple form around, do you have an image? Give us some details. It goes through an approval process. Usually takes, as Alira said before, about 24 hours. And then that's up there, and then you can further share that along with all of the rest of your promotions. So strongly recommend doing that one. One thing with the grants that is a little bit of a non-negotiable again is a acquittal. So the acquittal is basically the end of project report. So this is something that's required under all grant streams through council. And it basically is the opportunity to let us know how the money was spent, how the project went, what were the strengths, what were some of the challenges that you came across, and how the project went as a whole. So the report is generally due 2 months after the end date that you've set your project for. Again, if that does change, let us know and we can adjust that, no worries. Or if it's a later event in the financial year, it would be no later than the 30th of June 2027. Apologies for the typo on screen. That should say 2027. I thought we just updated that. I also see this as a really good opportunity to tell us what you have achieved through your project. I think it's a great way to share your photos with us, as well as those good news stories and testimonials. And then we can use that data and use those good news stories to promote that even further. So what we do internally is take those good news stories and share them up through our channels, which generally reaches the councillors. So we love sharing these stories. We love saying, look at what this grant has achieved through community. And how far they've taken that. This is your return on investment, really, for councillors, and they really, really love to see that. So, strongly recommend. It is a non-negotiable, but I like to flip the script and say it's an opportunity to let us know how amazing that your project was. It does have a little, as Alira pointed to before, that if you do miss it, or you have a late acquittal, or you miss the acquittal, it can affect future funding. And your eligibility for the next grant round. So it is a non-negotiable. It does need to happen, but yeah, I like to just say, make it fun, make the stories great, and give us some photos. And then it becomes sort of a great way to wrap up your event. Here's some common pitfalls that we've touched on and covered. So forgetting to acknowledge council in your promotions is one that goes easily. You can get excited and just post those things, but we do need to see flyers before they're posted or printed. If they, or when they include the Nillumbik logo. Starting your event or project before you have received your approval, whether it be an event permit or a planning permit. Planning permits sometimes required when you're hosting something at a venue and you might be affecting traffic, etc. That's when a planning permit will need to be acquired. So getting all those ducks in a row before starting is a very good idea and has caught a lot of people up when they haven't done that. Delays, cancellations, so we don't want that. Just ensuring that you're following the guidelines about what is an eligible spending item from the grant funding is really important. That when you're spending or making a payment, you just check that it's something that can be paid for with the grant funding. Ignoring changes to your project really means not letting us know about those major changes. So if you're changing your date, if you're changing your date or your time schedule, location, probably, it'd be good to let us know. But those large changes to your event, we really do need to see early so that we can know. And then, as I said before, missing that acquittal deadline, is just something that we really want you to avoid. And then you can see the do's there. So that's really the flip side of what not to do. So getting those variation requests in early, and then getting your acquittal in early, is something that we would like to encourage. No time for questions. We're just recording this one today. So if you do have questions, there are plenty of email addresses in this presentation. You've also got Alira and I's community at nillumbik.vic.gov.au. Very happy for you to reach out to us through there, or you can go directly to the emails that have been, in the presentation. Do you want to take
Great, thanks, Mitch. So for more information, you can certainly visit the website at any time, download the guidelines. We've got the link here or the QR code. The other bit of information we wanted to share is that this year the Mayor is going to be announcing the grant recipients at our next council meeting, which is the 30th of June, 7 p.m. At Civic Drive Council Office in the Council Chambers. So you're welcome to come along to that. We'll also send you a link that you can jump into and watch that from the comfort of your own home if you like. There is no requirement that you attend. That's simply just open to you if you would like to see your project announced formally. And I think that really brings us right to the end. So thanks again. We're very excited about all the amazing projects that have come up this year. We're excited to work with you. So please do reach out. A council officer, whether that be myself or Mitch, will definitely be in contact with you sometime between now and the next month or so, just to touch base and see how you're going. So you've got lots of support at council to make sure that your project's as successful as possible. So thank you, everybody, and congratulations again.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
everyone. Congratulations.
Okay, bye-bye.